All right, JJ Perez, Inside Runner Sports with Greg Luca, San Antonio Express News. Runners at the park, we just finished a glorified practice session, Greg. What are some of your takeaways? I think big one is Frank Harris is going to be your starter. Right?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not been said by anybody, but it still seems very obvious that that's the direction this is heading, so I have no issue with you saying that. I thought he was pretty impressive. You know, I hadn't seen a lot of him actually throwing the ball around before.
Yep.
And in the sessions that we see, the open practices, it's usually maybe dink and dunk or maybe just kind of completely against the air. So to see him throw against either in like one-on-one receiver and DB drills or even in 11-on-11 stuff, to see him throw the ball was pretty encouraging. I thought there was some good throws there.
Yeah, they said last week that his passing ability is kind of underrated. They just think he's a good runner, but he did, hit the post route a few times. That out pretty good.
There was a deep one in the corner over
here
to I forget to who, but it was a very good throw. I thought it was like right over the outside shoulder. He dropped it in there.
You wrote 5 things last night about what to watch. What are some of those other things that you take away from today?
Well, we didn't get to see the kickers actually. I'm still pretty interested in what's going on with that.
Yeah.
That's a situation that I think could become problematic during the year, but maybe we've just got a bad sample of the stuff that we've seen. They're still looking for some consistency there. We talked about the freshmen a little bit who could stand out. I think Sincere McCormick looked pretty good today, and I think he could take a pretty big role. With Brendan Brady had the boot, and it seemed like Sincere was next man up. So that was a really impressive jump that he's made already to seemingly surpass B.J. Daniels, although obviously there's nothing official on that. And in the secondary, Jamal Sam, he caught my eye a couple times. I know they've mentioned a couple guys in there.
Yeah.
They've also mentioned Wisdom back there and Ken Robinson back there, and I didn't really notice too much of them, but again, they've had a lot of guys in the secondary that they spoke pretty highly of, so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
We're 2 weeks out from kickoff. I think the biggest thing is can this offense be productive, and it seems like they have all the talent and the tools in place. It's going to be up to first-year offensive coordinator Jeff Castle to put it all together, and they've shown glimpses. I think there's reason for optimism. No?
I think the part that is reason for optimism more than anything is that it feels like we actually know who the personnel is going to be. Where it's so strange to have all the questions be on defense rather than on offense, whereas the offense was so bad last year. You would think we'd still be trying to figure it out, but it's been pretty consistent with the personnel they've run out there, and it looks like they know who their guys are. Now, whether they can produce against other defenses remains to be seen, but it has to be encouraging that they've seemingly been building some continuity having the same group out there as long as they have.
So you talked to AD Lisa Campos yesterday for preview your writing. I talked to her today. What were some of your takeaways? I think she told me that they were a little bit behind on season ticket sales, but that it's kind of expected, and they're not hiding away from the 3-9 season they had last year.
I know some of those, like ticket revenue and especially has been kind of slumping the last few years, and they're working to get that back on track, of course. I think the biggest thing is that winning will fix a lot of those problems, and we'll see if they're able to get that done on the field this year. But as far as Lisa Campos goes, I think she has a lot to evaluate. She's still in a lot of ways getting settled in here. That's easy to forget, but she hasn't been here all that long, and there's a lot of learning. She said this year she's been really kind of inside the football program a lot more. Seeing what the recruiting visits look like and how they handle that, and being at practice and seeing how they handle all that stuff, and how coach interacts with the players. These are all things that are important beyond just the wins and losses, although obviously that is going to be a huge factor too.
2 weeks to kick off. Both you and I will be there. Appreciate it. Thank